Alright everyone, we're back. I'm Rhys, got James Elsey here, joined by Jack of Culture Force. We've all got TikTok these days, you've all been on TikTok, I'm no doubt you've seen the videos. If not, you'll have seen the stuff on YouTube or Instagram. So yeah, we're gonna have classic old drop day pod, talking all things footwear, tapping into a bit more digital creator space these days. I know a lot of people following the drop day kind of want to know how this stuff works, so hopefully we'll give you good insight.
Yeah, sweet. Thanks for having me.
Thank
you for
coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
The space is sick. Like what the people on the camera can't see is the area is really, really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, we do get good feedback, and we have to thank TT London for that. The home of the podcast. Yeah, that's the plug.
Nice and early done, man. Nice and early done.
I'd read done.
Yeah. Steve likes to say, "Did you shout out TT? Did you shout out TT?" We've done it this time. Yeah, I guess. Well, we always start at the start. A little brief introduction to you and your journey and how you got here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my kind of online persona is called Culture Force. I make brand it as entry level fashion, streetwear content and footwear content. The whole idea behind Culture Force is to funnel people into the space, and then once they get in, they can go and like kind of 13 to 18-year-olds, and then once they get into the streetwear space, they can go and watch the guys who will tell you about your chrome arts or your proportions or your I don't know, cooler brands, you know. But yeah,
that's you, mate.
That's me.
Yeah, the more in-depth stuff, and that's it really, man. And then a few kind of side things off the back of Culture Force, and that was it. Culture Force is basically I mentioned earlier, the kind of crackhead side of my personality, the 10% or maybe less than that, which is just like 10 minutes a day being a bit weird, and that's it, man. It's just led to where we are now. So. And
so to take it, where did Culture Force start? Where did that idea? Where was it born? How did it come about?
Probably in like 2015. I think I might have started it 2017, 2018, just doing a bit of reselling, pre-owned, always pre-owned. Everyone was selling brand new stuff, and I was like, why is there must be money to be made on Depop. So I basically buy Palace hoodies on Depop, selling for £5-10 profit. It was a lot different back then. A lot less saturated, a lot easier to do. I would wear the stuff and then sell it, just like as a student, because I didn't really have any money.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then started making content in 2021. Yeah, because I wasn't. Everyone was having a good time in lockdown. I think all the pubs are just open, but I wasn't really well enough to go. I had a few things going on, so I sat at home and yeah, my first few videos were really strange, stepping on fruit and yogurt. TikTok was a very different space back then, so. Yeah, it was a bit weird, but yeah, it's led to a lot of progression, and kind of learned a lot on the way.
What was that first video that like really popped, and you were like, oh, I'm onto something? Yeah.
I used to do random mystery box videos. Like I would buy like a £20 one off eBay, and then and I wouldn't even have my face in it or my voice. I would just show it like to music. It was the most low level content ever, but it would get like 300-400k views. Wow. And I was like. Yeah, there was no monetizing at this point, but it was still mental, you know.
What was in those mystery boxes? Was it like streetwear footwear, or was it
mostly Supreme related stuff? So I could sell it. But yeah, that was it. And obviously Supreme then was still leeching onto its glory days a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I've always hated Nike Tech fleeces, right? Like growing up, I've never liked tracksuits at all. But then for some reason I did a video on one, and it went insane. Like it really blew me up, and then I had to try and get away from being the Tech Fleece tracksuit guy in 2020, end of 2021. But it did really well, so I'm very grateful for that tracksuit. Yeah.
Sometimes the stuff where you just kind of you don't think it'll work, or you kind of like take a step out of the box. There's the stuff that goes nuts, and then you're like,
yeah,
maybe I should trust that thinking a bit more.
Yeah, and you kind of got to reevaluate a little bit. But that's what a successful creator does. I'm not saying I'm that guy, but a lot of the best like the Mr. Beasts and whoever you want to brand as the top. Maybe not in this current.
Don't mention Mr. Beast.
Maybe not in. Maybe that's a bit of a PR problem at the moment. But all of them, the sidemen, whatever, will just move around. When something works, they adapt, and they keep pushing that, and then that's just a cycle, isn't it? But yeah.
Where the name come from?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Absolutely no idea.
I'll be honest. I thought it was like a Counter-Strike like gaming like reference.
That makes sense.
It sounds
it
sounds like a Counter-Strike pro team.
It does sound a lot like that. Yeah, I'm not sure we'll see how long it lasts, but yeah, it's done alright so far. Yeah, it's done alright.
Fair play.
There was no changes. It's always been Always been Culture Force?
Yeah, the only change was the logo. I used to have when I must have hit about 500-600k followers on TikTok. And I was like, I probably need to show like my face needs to be I had like a really shitty logo, so I just got rid of that and changed it to my face, and that was it. So it was kind of like a, you know, like the old like, I don't know, like Phase YouTube icons, profile pictures. It was kind of something like that. So it's probably maybe a little bit gamified. So yeah, that changed, and that was it really, man.
So what was the first platform that you really sort of started?
It would have been Instagram,
Yeah.
and then a very small growth on there, and then TikTok. Then kind of blew up to an extent, and then that was it. And then I've kind of transitioned through all of them, tried them all. I do a lot of like consultancy based stuff, so it really helps to have profiles on different platforms, so I can more reliable and
yeah. I hear you. Do you think it's hard to almost like funnel or port followers from one social media to the other? Because what's your TikTok on 1.2 mil?
Yeah, 1.3 now.
1.3, nice.
But Instagram's a lot lower, like 86k.
In the YouTube about 100k.
Yeah, literally just over that. Yeah.
Like at a glance, I'd imagine getting people from TikTok to YouTube's a lot easier than getting people from TikTok to Instagram. Would you agree?
I am not an Instagram person at all.
Okay.
I hate fit pics. I'm very like anti, not my personal beliefs, but in terms of like me, I'm not a very fashion creator type guy. I don't do many fit pic type things. I just like reviewing shit, to be honest. I'm not really style proportions. That doesn't interest me anywhere near as much as, I don't know, a cool collab or reporting on something. I prefer that a lot more. So I've always kind of neglected my photo side of Instagram. I've started posting more regularly on the reels, but it's very, very different, man. Very different platform. TikTok's like a medium YouTube now. Like my videos on TikTok are 2 minutes long every day, so that's quite that's a lot, man.
It's getting longer
lot different.
form.
Yeah.
And how does that translate your TikToks to YouTube Shorts? Is there any correlation?
Shorts is annoying because it's capped at 60 seconds.
Right.
So if I'm filming, I don't know, like 100 seconds on average for a TikTok, cutting 40 seconds off that to bring it to a YouTube Shorts is really difficult. The Shorts does work. I used to do well on Shorts, but when obviously TikTok brought out their creator program, which is videos for over a minute, I started to see a lot more. The money's okay. It's not YouTube money, but it's all right. So everything was kind of surpassed a minute on TikTok. So converting that to YouTube is really tough. Yeah, especially the short version of it. Yeah.
And the creation of that TikTok Creator Fund, how does that translate day to day? Like, what effect does that have on creators?
I think everyone just wants to post longer videos. There is still a gap in the market for people who don't do that, because not everyone wants to watch their own favorite creator. People grow up on TikTok like Vine, right? Yeah. Like a new age Vine, a bit of a modernized Vine. So not everyone necessarily wants to watch that type of content, but they kind of have to now because all their favorite creators are doing it.
Right. Yeah.
I was in a fortunate position where my videos were already at 1 minute 10.
Yeah.
So I've just extended it a little bit longer, and it's really I love it because I love making actual proper content.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't like do outfit type stuff. Like, I can't do a song and then get dressed and do some transitions and put a nice pair of baggy trousers on. Like, I don't really look very good in it. So actually making content with a bit of a narrative, acquiring shoes, reviewing something, buying something weird. I can get much more out of that. Much more substance out of that.
So speaking of your content, obviously it's pretty clean. There's some really nice production in there. Is that all you, or is there a team, and what does that look like?
So I have a full-time editor, Ryan. He's great. He'll probably be watching this. He's working all the time for me, and he works across everything I do, and he's great. Just brilliant. I used to be. That's what I wanted. I went to uni and studied film, so I wanted to be a video editor, and then obviously fell into this, but then realised as well the industry is full of much better video editors than I am, and he's great. Yeah, so he's brilliant, and finding that is a scary jump, having someone kind of work for you pretty much all the time and paying them X amount of money a month. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it works.
Yeah, but obviously you're set up a company at this point, and it's all.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good. And then he just works across basically everything. Nice. And then have there's something called talent agents and managers in the space, which are very controversial. I've had some problems with mine previously. It's just a kind of some managements are great. The one I'm with now, really nice, very helpful, really care about you. Other ones are a lot more take advantage of brands emailing you and then just sort out a contract and take a 20% commission.
Right.
So for like maybe someone watching this who's got like a bit of a following on like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. So say they've got 20K, but the metrics are pretty solid for the amount of followers. They're getting like a good return on engagement, good views on like reels. Do you think, because a lot of navigating a brand deal is like, firstly, are you on the radar? You very well might be the best at what you do and can create great content, but if you're on the radar, you're not going to get any work and make any money off like what you love. So would you say that getting a manager or having a like representation is like helpful for the most part? Are they getting you gigs that you could never have seen otherwise, or is it a case of they're taking a fee for stuff you could have like attained yourself?
Yeah, well, that's where the value is, right? From a management company and the relationship between a creator and a manager, that in the middle gap they've got to be finding people who you couldn't get, right? Yeah. Which is really difficult, especially in fashion and streetwear, because you can't just reach out to Palace or Supreme and get a collaboration. That doesn't happen. Yeah. But to a normal person, they might, to a manager, they might look like that's feasible, but it's obviously the people in the space know that's impossible.
Yeah. It's not one for you to waste your time, but if a manager wants to go ahead and do that and fish, then so be it. That's their time, not yours.
In terms of the kind of starting off, you have 20K followers and getting a manager, it's definitely not. It's really easy to jump into because it sounds cool. Yeah. But you soon realise it's not like a Hollywood manager. You're not. You haven't got like it's not crazy. A lot of these talent agencies and stuff. Thankfully, mine's really good. But a lot of them are huge, and they just get a brand deal, come in and pass it through everyone. And then as soon the brand can just pick what creator they want. So the brand could come in. Say if I was with a big agency, they might want Culture Force, but then it gets passed around. They might come in directly for me, but then they pass it around to 50 other creators. On the way around, they see someone else they want, so they split the deal. I get half the money, and do you know what I mean? Yeah. So and as a creator, you don't see the emails, you don't see any of that stuff. Yeah. So it's really, really grey area at the moment.
Is the fee for like the brand deal and what the deliverables are? Is that a conversation that you land on as the manager, like setting the fee and then coming?
It's both, but I guess it probably depends on how you prefer to work.
I've got you.
I quite like being involved in it. Yeah. Because I feel like I can add value to some. I know the space relatively well. Yeah. So I feel like that's good, and it all depends. But I think the creator always needs always should have an input, because doing too many brand deals is a negative thing.
Yeah, it's bad for business. Yeah.
Really poor, man. It's a really fine line, because on one hand, TikTokers how long are they going to be around? The reality is you don't know. A lot of people think it's a longevity type thing. They're going to be here for a long time because they've got 200K on TikTok, or even my following. There's literally never any guarantee, but you've got to find you got to cash in, but at the same time you need to find that line when it's too much. Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's tough in that sense, but the whole job obviously isn't tough. Yeah, it's not hard, but
is like outside of like a Supreme, a Palace, is there anyone you'd love to work with? And what's the most surprising like brand or like company you've like managed to work for?
JD's always nice. Yeah, they're very, because they're huge when I was growing up, huge now, very culturally relevant in the UK. So that's sick. That's really, really cool, man. Obviously, I don't know, but they're top. Yeah, they're top. But there's loads of brands, man. Loads of brands come in, but yeah, it's always a bit hit or miss, because, like I said, you can't do too many. You really got to be careful who you pick. If the money's good once, that brand, it's really difficult, because a brand might come in with like 5-6 grand, but then a brand might be paying you, come in a little bit lower, but they're going to come back. You have a really good relationship with them, right? So it's like, fuck, what do you do? Yeah. Again, sound insanely privileged. It's a very privileged position to be in. I'm not complaining about it, but it's just like, for a small creator, you can get walked all over. It's happened to me. It's really, really difficult.
It's I suppose it's a pretty crude way of putting it, but it's like, do you want a one night stand, or do you want like a friend with benefits that you can have like
something like that
with?
Yeah. Good analogy.
Where do you sit, Rhys?
Depends on the fee.
Yeah.
It depends on the fee, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a sticky one, but yeah, I think Managers good and bad for sure, good and bad. Some are good, some are not good. It's just intentions, right?
And would you
Yeah.
is the base like fees about 20%, 15-20% of the total like?
Yeah,
value?
so it's always so the industry rate is 20%.
Yeah.
In TikTok anyway. That's from what I
I've
understand.
got you.
Yeah. But a lot of the I'm very close with a couple of or one particular guy who's like an OG in the YouTube, kind of behind the YouTube scene.
Yeah.
And they despise talent agents. They hate them. They really don't like them because they can obviously see a lot of these young creators who want a manager because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Let speak to my manager type thing. It's like they're not arranging your dentist appointment. They're just the reality is they're taking an email that comes in to your mailbox from your bio.
Yeah.
So you just got to make sure they provide value. But anyway, it's sticky, especially if you're young. Yeah.
And you sign with agents on a time basis?
Yeah, so some of them will have it's like anything, right? So some will have a kind of you can kind of cancel within 30 days, like a normal job contract, right? So you give 30 days. I can't believe I've forgotten what you call it. Notice period, right?
Yeah.
30-day notice period. Others a year, 2 years. So you can be really, really stuck. And social media career is short. If you'll sign 2 years with one person, you could be
done.
Views are very different, man. Yeah, views are very different.
I hear you.
Yeah, that's very smart. You mentioned about where you realise you're really fortunate, but you also you obviously realise that it can all go away tomorrow.
Yeah, but I that's why I also position myself at the entry point of streetwear because people are always trying to get into it, and I'm not, and I brand myself as that guy, whilst everyone else is trying to be in the 1%, the best dressed, the most knowledgeable. And that's where no one's really worked out. You can do quite well, and you have a much more general viewership. So my views are a lot higher than someone. And that's not because I'm better, but it's just because of my demographic, my placement.
There's more people in the pool.
Yeah, exactly. And
the content's the content's also easier to digest.
Yes,
right? Like
exactly.
It's fun. It's not it's not super serious. It's not it's not overwhelming. You make it very easy to get into.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm pleased you think that because that's the whole point. So yeah, that's what I was aiming for.
It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So okay, streetwear. We'll get on. Well, we'll cover streetwear and sneakers, but what was first? Was it the sneakers, the streetwear, or did it all kind of come together? And where what was that that defining moment? You were like, oh yeah, I think this stuff I'm in.
It was probably a combination of probably what Virgil was doing,
right?
Like kind of Pyrex, Off-White, and then Supreme in between.
Yeah.
And obviously when you had the 10 collaboration with Off-White and Virgil, Nike and Virgil, it was pretty nuts. So it was all a combination of that period, right? Which was like 3 years or something. So the
2017.
So 17 was a 10-pack, I think.
Yeah.
And then before that was obviously you had in that period, but like probably like 2014 to then, you had Supreme doing quite significantly well.
Fire,
they were like top, and everyone at college, I remember, was just like in like these break rooms on these laptops trying to cop random shit, and I was sat there, I was like, how on earth are you making money from stuff like that, and why are you interested in the red like rectangle on a shirt? And that was it, and I was so fascinated by it from like the hype, but also the kind of demand and
the business side of it.
A little bit. A little bit. I was so fascinated by how someone could make money on it, but then I was never really that great at buying dead stock. I actually just had I really loved the idea of buying something pre-owned on Depop because it was just Depop at the time, and then just like wearing it for 3 weeks and then selling it on, washing it, selling it on. That was it.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people don't realise, and I'm fully saying this, but I'm not. It's not something I necessarily take advantage of. I could open my phone for half an hour a day, sit on eBay for half an hour, search like a number of brands, go on Depop, search a number of brands, or just see what's on there, explore. I could probably do $250 a day.
Yeah.
Buying stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Just because there's that much use that people like, especially cost of living crisis. It's probably a nasty thing to say, but people need to sell things quickly. They might need to pay the rent. If you can score something for like 20-30 quid and you've got a pool, like you've got a pool of customers, like much like me on Instagram, I sell a lot of stuff on my story. It's like there's a pool of people just like ready to buy. Yeah. They might not be looking to buy, but it might just pop up. They'll be like, you know what, the price is right. I fancy that. I'll have it. And then you can just make very easy money. I remember years ago I was doing much like what you did. I was buying like old Supreme Nike collaborations. Supreme did a collaboration with Nike on the GTS, like the canvas skate shoe. Yeah. I bought a pair of them for like 30 quid. They were filthy. had Jason out in the house, cleaned them up,
Yeah,
took us 10
good.
minutes, sold them for 80 quid.
Yeah, that's
It's
quality.
like easy 50 quid profit.
Yeah.
And you'll see like a lot of like people who resell these days, you can't even make a tenner profit on a brand new shoe. So
Yeah, the resale scene is interesting for sure right now, especially with that method you mentioned about buying pre-loved and what we just spoke about and selling it on is back now more than ever.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I mean, people are selling courses on it. People are selling PDFs on it. People are selling people are selling groups on it, and it's just because of demand. There's now monitor, like a lot of couple of guys I know who are really good guys and they're very switched on. They now build like monitors on Vinted. So they monitor when Supreme t-shirt comes up for less than 25 quid, and they will go and tell the group and go and buy it.
Wow.
But it's just people. There's always going to be someone ahead, and they're just ahead.
Yeah.
They're just ahead of the average Joe trying to do it.
Yeah.
So they will get a lot of criticism, but I respect it a lot because it's just all run by kids.
Yeah.
Youngsters just trying to get ahead, just trying to get a quick bit of
Make
cash,
some money.
and it's quite impressive to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm seeing a bit of a theme like where a lot of the your generation are into it from the reselling first.
Yes, definitely.
Rather than the love of the product.
Yeah. Yeah, that is you probably got two funnels. The hype, or like for initial entry, is probably the hype and the money, probably the margins and the hype.
Yeah.
And then they kind of, I guess you go in and there's a bit of a route, but yeah, the I think loads of people start off by being keen on resale, and then they will filter off to different parts, which I think is quite nice. It's interesting to see.
I suppose from your perspective, like when you were younger. And we've never had this conversation, but I imagine a lot of it was almost the bravado of like having a shoe that nobody else had. It's a lot like football culture. If you've got a nice Stone Island jacket on, that's like rare. Nobody else has like a special projects one. It's like You look at the dog's bollocks on the terraces. It's a lot like footwear. If you were wearing the best like shoes to play basketball and the best football boots, it's almost like you're using that like bravado and the cultural cachet of it is like the vehicle to make like someone like yourself to make money off it.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would you rather do? Would you rather wear it and have the bravado, or would you rather recognize that and make a bit of profit?
Yeah, I mean, I still nothing. I don't see anything I own as an asset.
Yeah.
Whereas today, probably everything you buy is an asset.
Yeah, it's
Susan's value by the day.
I know, mate.
Yeah,
Trust
it's
me. I moved house recently. I felt that pain.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, I think as I've got older, I my opinion on it is swayed a little bit, and probably appreciate the quality of a product a lot more.
Okay.
But because I've got it's simple. It's because I've got money, not loads of money, but I've got money to appreciate, and I can buy I can enter a bunch of raffles and not really think anything.
Yeah,
of
these
it.
things don't need to pay you back. At this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just did like the Kith and A6 Marvel stuff. Entered all of them. Didn't get any, but I wasn't worried about if I had one free. Because I'm not that rich. I'm not on that amount of money, but like it's a safety. It's much safer than I was when I was 18 to 20. So I think the percentage it's just demographics, age, stuff like that. So it's
See, and again, there goes to show you like these raffles, these launch platforms. It means nothing who you are.
Mm.
You've
fuck
got
all.
the funds,
Fuck
you've
all.
got the reach. It means nothing. I think there's a general misconception that product will come easily to the likes of yourself.
Yeah. I love that though. I think it's great. I think it's brilliant, especially the raffle system is kind of what I grew
But the
up
product
on.
doesn't come easy to us either. Like we get anything of interest doesn't come through the doors.
Really?
We have to beg, borrow, and steal to get access to anything. And we've been doing this for
donkeys.
nearly 15 years.
Yeah.
We haven't. The brands are saying, "Oh, show this off."
Yeah, that's good.
It's even for us, it's hard to get hold of stuff.
Yeah, I kind of appreciate that though, that they've stayed to their roots, stayed strong to not like give out loads of shit to influencers, and I kind of like that because I didn't start as an influencer. I started as a fan.
Yeah, of course.
So as an actual consumer. So I respect that. I think it's good.
Have you got any brands on board that will?
The only brand that's sorted me out big time is Canada Goose. They are mate. They're the best.
There's definitely worse brands.
And it all came about organically because I reviewed one of their Parkers last year. I had like a winter jacket series and reviewing. I went literally from like Paul and Bear 40 quid jackets to all the way up to like CG and really expensive stuff. But yeah, they sent me I was the only person in Europe to be sent the Bape and Canada Goose Bear Brick. The Bape and Canada Goose jacket because I was ill, so they sent it to me. They saw I was in the hospital for a bit, so they sent that to me, and then a couple other bits as well.
That's
a winter
nice.
package.
That's really nice.
But they're great. They're so nice. And also it came about because one of the videos did like 2 mil, so they kind of not pay me back, but it was completely organic. You know, I just did it, and they obviously saw that. And it was a completely non-biased review. I said it was too priced at the end, basically. But yeah, so they're really good. They're really good, and to be honest, I don't really because I'm not that type of outfit guy. I don't really do enough. They're not like, oh, he's gonna do a video on it. You know, if you send me something like Place and Faces sent me like a gym. They did a Gymshark collaboration recently, which was really fucking cool. And if they put effort into it, like I will unbox it for like a story or something, which I did because it was like a football table. It's for the Euros. It was sick. Underneath they had like a camera. They had like a football shirt. They had loads of cool stuff.
That's cool.
And I would show it off. But if brands just send out like a random T-shirt, there's obviously doesn't make as much because I'm not a stylistic, aesthetic-driven guy. Yeah, it's not as fun. Yeah. So an activation marketing tool is much more interesting for me to unpack as opposed to
of course.
A fancy T-shirt. You know.
I think that, to be fair, I'm quite taken back by that. I thought you'd be on a lot of like seedless radars for that sort of stuff. Even if it's just a pund, even if just like it's maybe a quiet day or it's been a quiet week, someone sent you a pair of shoes or a jacket or something, and you're like, you know what, I can make a bit of content out of this. Yeah. But it's always interesting when you talk to people about that sort of stuff, because you have someone like FD, who's like FD's probably on every. Yeah, he's good. FD's top of every like scene. If he's not, you're probably out the loop. Yeah, you're slow, man. Yeah, you got to get a new market in the lead. Yeah. I feel like if you posted more photo content on Insta, I feel like you'd be on them very quickly. Yeah, probably. Even just general like photo dumps, and like someone sent you a pair of like whatever, you share a photo of it. It's like I've had a conversation with myself millions of times. I've got to start doing more, but I like spending money on my content. I like spending, and I like being I like thinking I have not a bigger budget, but I like spending X on a bit of content, so it can allow me to create a bit more. But yeah, I mean, if it's something that's really personal to me, like I'm a Watford fan, and they do some stuff with me, so that's cool.
Always doing shit with them and letting me meet the players and stuff and chatting to the players.
Yeah, that's really good.
In exchange for me, they know I'm going to make a video on selling a pair of shoes to one of the players or something like that. You know.
Yeah. Fair play.
Which is good.
That's good.
So you spoke about your content and budget. What does your weekly content budget look like, or what's typical for a Culture Force video?
Nothing crazy, but a few £100, 400, 500, 600. It really depends. This week I'm quite busy, so it's very low. I'm doing a lot of sit down, newsy content. Yeah. Winter is crazy because of the jacket series. I always just review winter jackets because everyone wants a new puffer, right? Yeah. It's like the North Face, what Nupsy jackets trend. It's like they're like dead all. Well, obviously rightfully so. They're not really around all year, and then all of a sudden November comes everywhere, and the price of them is through the roof on the Vinted and Depop and stuff like that. And every white girl ever who drives a Fiat 500 wants one. So it's really, really interesting to look at that. Yeah. But they're good jackets. But yeah, it really depends on the season as well.
Yeah, I hear you.
So what's your biggest budget on one single video?
Man, probably it would have been one of the Canada Goose jackets, which would have been about £1,000. But then obviously I don't really get any money on those type of things, but you can sell it on for less money, but it kind of works itself out all right because you make a bit of money from the TikTok itself. That kind of stuff. I'm doing this like room renovation tour thing at the moment.
This down, best room on the internet, right?
Yeah, which is tough because I had a night. That series has caused me so many problems with my estate agents.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I can speak about it, but I've been investigated. I'll probably just leave it there. But they're not. They've had to search at my TikTok. They found out who I am. They've been using it against me. They found out I have a hamster, so against the lease apparently. So they're really pissed. Because I've showcased more of the room. Yeah. And they've obviously searched it up. So but it is what it is. But anyway, in terms of the budget.
Oh, so you're renting and.
Yeah. It's a really nice spot, like really cool building. You can't it's a protected building and stuff, and it's really nice, and they're obviously a bit funny about it. So whatever. Yeah, weird.
Content's content, right?
Yeah, exactly, man.
In a similar vein, what's like, and you can say no to this question.
So is that series on hold at the minute?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just concerned because what I wanted to do, it was the whole point was to let my followers do random shit in my room, and it was, because it's like a studio basically, like living room for me.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there permanently because I've had to because I don't own it.
Yeah.
But I can't go and install funky lights. I can't go and, which I wasn't really. I was gonna find a way around it anyway, but now I'm shit scared of doing anything because then they don't know the whole story of it, because the content's a little bit fabricated anyway, because you don't go and explain about how you've done. Or had an electrician come in and I've avoided.
Fucking estate agents, man.
Yeah, mate.
Are you covering your rent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot as well, and it's a significant amount for
I bet it's.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's a lovely place. So I'm happy to pay it, but it hasn't been great, to be honest, recently.
Ugh.
But yeah.
In a similar.
Circumnavigate them snakes, man.
Yeah.
cut them out the loop. Go and find the landlord and have a private arrangement.
Yeah.
Because estate agents are snakes.
Yeah.
They will stitch you any which way they can.
No, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
Right. Zip it. in a similar vein, Elsie's question before. You can say no to this. You can answer it. Highest grossing video on TikTok from a single video, and what's been your best month on TikTok? It doesn't need to be the penny, but like a rough estimate.
The best month on TikTok would have been like a few grand.
Few grand.
Yeah.
So like 3-4K.
Probably a little bit less.
Okay.
Probably a little bit, about around 2.5 to 3.
2.5. But
to be honest, on TikTok,
okay.
but that's
just purely your TikTok
that's just
views.
views.
That's just coming out of the creator fund,
the
right?
brand deals are where you make money.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm not saying that is very nice money, 2-3K a month making videos,
of course,
but like in comparison to brand deals, you make a significant amount more. But it's very nice. But again, that's when it's very good. TikTok's it's like any social media, but TikTok especially, man, is just up and down, as you guys probably know.
Yeah.
But it's that's it. But there's a misconception that you make £1 for every 1,000 views, which is not true. The bigger creator you are, the smaller your RPM is or whatever. And obviously I'm not the biggest, I'm not one of the side men, but I'm on TikTok. I think the more consistent you are, they actually burn you because you're getting more viewership. But and it depends on demographic, and my age are young, so they don't. I think the way TikTok do it is how impressionable that audience is to consume, and my audience is young. So they're like, you're not going to go and spend.
Mum and dad for the money.
Yeah, so I think that's how they work it out. I think the older your audience are, the more money you make on viewership.
I've got you.
But yeah, I mean, it's great that TikTok have added it because it means people have to work harder for better content.
Yeah.
And they care about watch time and not just like a weird funny dance. It's kind of giving TikTokers a bit more respect. You know.
Yeah.
Have you ever indulged in a trend?
Back in the day, I used to do like maybe like trends to a song, but never like actual dancing, like a transition or something, right? So I've always been quite. TikTok's cringe. Like, you get branded the cringe, like to be as a bit of a cringy person if you're a TikToker anyway. So it's I'm probably at my max cringe level at the moment. Right. But Culture Force is like that kind of side. But yeah.
And how does that compare to, say, your best performing YouTube videos?
I mean, the YouTube money per like however they work it out is a lot.
4K per million views or something.
So, like that? I'm honestly not sure in terms of like the longer form stuff. The shorts is less than TikTok, but my YouTube's okay, so it brings in a little bit, but TikTok's better because I do more consistent. Yeah. But I everyone says they always want to transition, and I do want to make a bit more of a portfolio over on YouTube, which is very important. The longevity is on YouTube for 100%, and Instagram. But TikTok's still fresher in it, so it changes a lot. So it's a little bit more scary that it could change again like that, and you'd be a bit like, But TikTok's good. YouTube make more, but if you're a TikToker, you can still make very good money from viewership.
Are you not putting any of that across to Facebook?
No. I had a brand like a couple of years ago. About a year and a half ago, I had a brand come out and like do that for me because I was like, just do it, and I take they take a percentage for doing that, but I never really hit. Yeah, it didn't hit at all. Yeah, very low, like 1,000, few thousand, like in the thousands, so not too many.
Yeah.
But,
Right, where are we up to?
It's web talk.
Web talk.
It's web talk now. Right, you know what? We'll do one each.
Go on then.
You can go first. Go on.
Well, we covered the. Yes, I see if you had a sneaker collection on a budget.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I think that would be of interest, especially for our audience.
Yeah.
Where did that come about?
Probably my love for buying pre-loved and trying to get more people into it. I believe in it massively. I think everyone should be doing it, and I feel like it's a massive gap that's still not exposed enough. Good for the environment, cheaper, more affordable. If you want to make money on it, you can. And there's more personality in those older shoes. You know, you can go far back, or you can go relatively recent, and there's still so much pre-owned stuff. So, yeah, I think again, entry level stuff, basic dunks, new like kind of 2021, 2022 dunk releases when they released a fuck ton. That was kind of in that video, and that was ages ago. You've done good research, man. I can't even remember what was in it, but relatively basic stuff. Yeah.
I think you had a pair of was it Kentucky's or Syracuse?
Yeah, it would have been Syracuse. Yeah,
for £90.
Yeah.
I saw the pair of those with a factory floor.
Yeah.
Had like a little cut out in the mudguard.
Yeah.
£380.
Wow.
Back
The Syracuse were banging back in it. They were so expensive back in the day, man.
All them were, man. When the plum Core JPs came back, man. They were like 450.
Yeah. Yeah. All of those, all of the kind of the kind of I'm not sure you guys know what you call them, but like the basic colours like a red and orange, whatever.
The varsity.
The college, the college dunks.
Yeah. And the Kentucky's like slapped as well. So
and 90 quid retail for a basic dunk.
Yeah.
There was so
completely
much
basic
in those shoes, man.
Yeah, mental, man. That was a crazy time.
Yeah, well, you know what it was. You were like. I was doing drug dealer money on shoes. Just on dunks, man. Nuts.
Yeah, just basic dunks.
Basic
dunks,
basic
man.
90 quid dunks. You're making 3-4 bill.
There was lads who I knew like a lot younger than me, was going to JD every morning and go and pick up pandas.
Well, yeah, people were probably set for life off pandas.
Yeah, but mate, it was insane. Like it was insane. It was a point where they were all going for one. There was there must have been like mid 22 or early 22 when the market price of pandas was 170, 180, and that's insane because they were so widely available. They were restocked every fucking Monday, and you could buy loads of them.
Yeah, people just buying them for the sake of buying them.
It was mental.
Just cars.
It was mental.
Yeah,
it was.
wild.
I don't think we're ever going to see anything like that again.
It was like the precursor was probably like the Hirachi triple white hype, wasn't it? That was probably like the
yeah. I think that and then the pad. I think even in between, if you can go back to like the 350 era, nothing comes close to that couple. Probably those two. The Hirachi was probably, as I was kind of getting into this stuff a little bit before, but then even the build up of like the Yeezy hype, everything like that, never got anywhere near the everyday person wanted a pair of pandas. It brought so many more people in. I mean, that is a huge funnel. I'd be interested to see what people who wanted that, the consumers who wanted the panda, where they are now in the space.
I was doing some work for Foot Locker back when the Hirachi hype was in full swing, and I'd always try and press them as to sort of units they were getting of the triple whites. It was insane.
Really?
We're talking millions of units.
Wow.
And they were just flying. Another restock, flying.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Wow.
That's nuts.
So you can't imagine that many of one single shoe out in the market. Yeah.
So what you're saying is Foot Locker shifting pairs of triple white Hirachis paid for Foot Locker's acquisition of Stadium Goods.
More than likely, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty. It would have been a pretty good earner for them. Yeah. So would it be fair to say you're a dunk guy? So you got a love for SBs, right?
Yeah, I do like an SB. I think the first love was kind of Supreme, and obviously Supreme, a very iconic collaboration in 2003 with the SB Dunk High.
Yeah.
And then they re-released it in 2021 in a low not re-released. They dropped a low variation of that in 2021. The 4-pack, which is a blue, green, brown, and black. And that was like fuck, that's so sick. So and to me, I love associating a type of item, of clothing or shoes, mostly shoes, to a period of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And without getting too deep into it, 2021 I was really unwell, so I had loads of time to look into these shoes and learn about them and stuff like that. And that was it. And I've kind of throughout my life, I've now got shoes to pinpoint certain timelines and time frames and things I associate with. So, for example, Watford, I can name you everything I was wearing on the when Watford have ever done anything decent, because I could just decide.
What about that Troy Deeney?
I would have been 13, so that was a little bit. I just remember eating a Starburst when that went in, and I was top right, and I nearly choked. But yeah, like when we won the FA Cup, I remember the Palace like reversible multicolored jacket I was wearing. I was wearing a pair of New Balances, and it was just the weird stuff like that. I like. I don't know how I got to that answer from that question, but
well, no. So what else are your sneaker taste? What's that like?
Lots of nostalgia. So I love collecting stuff I couldn't afford when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's literally that is literally what I do. It's really that simple. So I buy a lot of trendy stuff for content. So you know, like the ASIC and that one, the ASIC wave at the moment, and that kind of not a chunky silhouette, but more the Y2K running silhouettes, right? Super popular at the moment. So I've been buying a lot of them for content, to be honest, and then I kind of pick and choose what I like out of that, and then I go back through the years a lot of the time, just buy, because the hype's gone. I go and buy a lot of stuff that was expensive, you know. I back in the day type thing. So like 350s, I've got loads of them. I don't wear them anymore. I never particularly was a massive fan of them. It was just something I could never really afford. And I don't know, it's probably a bit of a weird complex I've got, but I quite like that. Yeah, that's probably my actual habits. SBs are nice because I love collaborations. I love it when brands come together. I like Medical and Bear Brick. So SB, obviously, you know, the skateboarding era of a range of Nike.
Have you got any of the Medicom SBs?
No, I don't. No, they are on the list. I have a list.
They're not cheap.
No, I know they're very expensive. I saw a pair the other day. They're very very premium. But yeah, the Street Hawker Dunks, one of my favorites. Weird, really crazy, really cool. The Supreme Star one's what I have there.
Yeah.
Do you want me to bring them out?
Yeah, we can get them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what you brought. Some of your favourites. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are in the wrong box.
Yeah, I was going to say they come in that box or not.
No, so these are obviously, you have the Green Machine colorway and the blue.
My favourite from this was the brown.
Yeah,
Like,
the browns are very nice.
I thought they were clean.
Yeah, the browns are very nice.
These were what they're doing, about 900 quid, 900 to 1100.
Yeah,
quid when they dropped?
yeah. Oh, they actually. I was offered a pair of them for 375. Turned it down.
What the green?
Yeah, on the on like an hour, like probably an hour or two after they dropped.
Wow.
And now I paid 700 for them. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I can't actually remember. It was around 700. And then these were a little bit cheaper. These were at 500. But I got somewhere out of them. Not these.
I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not I like a dunk when they were popular and I could make money on them. But as for wearing them, I've never really. I don't know. It kind of.
They're a lot.
For me, it kind of doesn't fit my style.
Yeah.
But
I don't think they fit many people's style, to be honest. They're quite a unique, weird.
I was definitely like happy when these came back, even though they weren't for me. I was like, this is cool. It's nice to see they've like they've done that. Obviously that teaser with Tyler came out yesterday. That's
which is
that's gonna be interesting. Just
well, that I mean, that collaboration is, you know, so late, man.
Yeah, like 9 years.
So late. It's good and it's bad because you feel like Supreme just digging up what you know, just trying to stay, which makes sense, but they should have done it ages ago, basically.
Yeah, I was like, my first thought was it would be cool if like people thought it was a photo tee and that was them kind of announcing that Taylor Creator was the new creator.
It would be sick if that was the case.
I feel like he's got that much of like of a fashion like brain and like point of reference. He'd bring back a lot of like cool stuff.
Yeah. He would be. He's proved himself quite a lot in that space. He has. So yeah, he would be great for that, but I don't know if that would happen. I think it probably will be a photo tee, won't it? They always just drop one at the start of the season.
Even if they released that box logo, I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, the green one. Yeah.
I'd like go out of my way to try and get that.
Yeah.
But it's in a weird spot, man. It's obviously sort of looks SLO looks like that sunglass brand that own like Ray-Ban and stuff.
Yes.
Everybody.
It's just like what are you gonna do with this here? Is it gonna be in every like shopping centre going? Are you going to strip it back a bit and like make it a bit more limited to try and get the hype back? Yeah.
Whatever. It's an impossible question, isn't it? It's what happened with I've forgotten the company who purchased them initially in 2020 for $2 billion.
What they call?
I know what.
Was it the Carlisle Group?
Yeah. So and they own like North Face and Timberland and all these guys. So it was just effectively they're just doing more Vans. They're just doing more and more the same shit.
It was Carlisle at first, then VF.
Yeah, it's a VF Corporation. Yeah. So they bought it for like $2.1 billion or something in 2020, and then I don't know business that well, so I'm not sure. I know it was sold for like what 1.5.
I think they lost 600 million 2 years. It was.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that would have been a strategic loss for the sale. I don't know how it works, but I'm not sure if they're recouping money anyhow. But yeah, it's massive. I mean, obviously it's a massive showcases how difficult Supreme is.
For me, what I find very interesting is the fact that like VF bought it, which is like they own like Kipling, Timberland, North Face, Dickies. Dickies? Yeah. They own a shitload of like consumer led brands.
Yeah.
And I've got friends who work for a couple of those brands, and they said that in Switzerland there was like a room dedicated to Supreme.
Oh,
the
shit.
VF offices that like no one could ever go into. I'd kind of love to be a fly on the wall and just see what like how VF were like looking at approaching Supreme,
Yeah.
who was working on it, because it's so like shielded and guarded.
Yeah,
You know, and it's kind
massively.
of being like punted about the whoever wants to buy it these days. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
You've got that kind of cult behind it where it's so kind of low key, but at the same time everyone knows about it. I mean, it's an impossible brand to navigate because they clearly haven't. If they can't do it, you know I don't really know what they were trying to do to it, to be honest.
yes.
I don't really. I was chatting to someone else about it the other day. I was like, I actually don't know. We were looking back through the collaborations and what they've done. We were like, oh, I don't really sure. The only kind of well, they've done a few good things, but you know, they dropped the Air Force One that regularly, like it was always on site, which was an interesting play, and they're now really bringing a new colorway. I don't know if that was already pre-arranged because that came out in 2020, I think. So that may already be pre-arranged before VF came in. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's really interesting to see where they go now. It's a big one for them.
It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the North Face collabs will continue because that's done through like Nanamika's ownership of North Face in Japan.
Okay.
It's like completely removed from like VF mainline North Face.
Gotcha.
So
That's interesting.
but obviously like the Timberland collab, the Vans collab, I'll be honest.
No one's excited about them anymore.
They're shit. Nine times out of 10 they're shit. So it's like, if you can those and maybe work with some more interesting people, like work with Visvin back in the day, like real like cult brands, that would be nice.
Oh mate, it'd be so good, man. But yeah, you can only hope. There's so much hope with Supreme. Those type of Palace. Well, Palace are a different story. They've done pretty well, a bit more culturally relevant here in the UK.
Yeah, definitely.
And they've done very well. I think they do really well. I've got the Palace Stella hoodie in the thing, but in the back. But yeah, they're a bit
They're
different.
almost where Supreme were before they got bought by these brands, and that's the magic. Once they go into these big, VF venture cap VC firms, it's you lose a bit of that spark, don't you? But it's impossible to maintain.
It is impossible.
What you had.
Yeah, it is.
What got you to that point?
Yeah.
Because generally, once the people get that check, they want out. They've done the hard graft. They ain't gonna stay around.
Yeah.
To work for
a big man in a suit. Yeah.
They're gonna absolutely run roughshod over your brand.
Yeah. Change all hit the targets. What the execs want. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So they go to a VC and then all the
it's pulled apart.
all the guts is ripped out.
Yeah, that sucks.
Just an asset at that point.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. A lot of the collaborations have kind of died down a little bit. I remember they lost their contract with Champion and they brought it back now. I think I don't know how it works, but they have brought it back. But the end of the Champion collaborations were fucking awful. They were so bad. I don't know if I have to show you a picture of it, but they literally put the reverse weave tag on the front of the shirt. They just put like a neck tag on the front of the hoodie, and then they stopped, and then they brought it back now. I can't remember what it was. Nothing memorable this year or last season, but
Like I went to the store last week, and like to be fair, I'm in London like once a week. If I've got time, I'll probably like just frequent. Especially when the sales on, just to see what's happening. And the amount of like the store stock was interesting. I had like a 3-piece suit from the Modular collaboration.
That's
like,
so weird.
Discounted. They had 2 pairs of Nike sweatpants from the recent collab, and it was like there was just
so strange.
There was weird like collab bits on the shelf, and then it's like a pair of like sweat shorts weren't reduced, but they were reduced in like collab product.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you're never going to sell this stock again, and no one really knows what happens to the stock once the season's over. So like, just.
But I mean, you go back to when Euro drop day. Shezzy was there every Thursday covering the drop.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
And
that's quality that though. That was that was peak, man. Everyone was excited for a Thursday at 11 a.m. You know, life was different back then. But
it was.
Even look at like the not the downfall, the Stone Island collaboration, but that used to be everyone used to be so excited for that.
Used to be gassed.
Used to save. I used to have mates save up all year
just for that.
So like the winter season when they release a jacket or something, because obviously some of them can be retail for thousands, but some of them not so much. But yeah, they were so cool, man. Everyone was so hyped and excited for that. But now it's just like
it's a bit lazy, isn't it?
It is, because you can get away with it. They can get away with being lazy with it.
Like so you've got the ice net.
Yeah, I had it. Yeah, it's gone now.
Good piece.
Very cool, mate.
Good piece.
Very cool.
But like stuff like that, you're like, come on, you like a fool, a drunken fool at the football could tell you what would work between Supreme and Stone Island.
Yeah.
Without having any understanding what Supreme is at all.
Yeah.
Like, just do that, do this, do that. It's just like, how can you not just put your heads together and make it a banger?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, mate, but it's sticky in it.
Yeah.
Sad.
As much as we say this, so I'm like, depending if I'm free, I'm like, I might go to the store on drop day in like August when it opens. I fucking
Yeah,
love
next Thursday.
next Thursday is it?
Yeah.
I love Supreme, man.
Yeah, so
I've
do I.
always loved it. It's
So
like,
do I.
It'll never go away.
Yeah.
I'll be 50 and I'll still be like, oh, what's fucking dropping on Supreme if the brand's still going.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that ingrained like in me. I'm like,
But that's Sony probably like of that generation, like have that core in them. Like, because it was, no one could really understand how big it was.
Yeah.
In those years,
Yeah.
Probably 14 to 18, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. I don't know when the LV club was, 2017, but it was crazy those years, man. Like I remember everyone at school was like, if someone had like a Supreme backpack, they'd be like, what the fuck? or a beanie or something. It was just crazy, man. People would take days off school to go.
Yeah.
It was just like, weird.
Like the clothing equivalent of like a Call of Duty release where
That's it, or like the GTA Midnight release,
Yeah.
shit like that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You think it gets back to that ever?
Hard to say. I've got a friend who always says like there'll never ever be a time like that again. He was like, he says that like about the maddest stuff. He'll be like Drake and Future, what a time to be alive. Like Kanye dropping like Yeezus.
Yeah.
It's about like music.
Yeah.
But he always says it, and I'm like that holds true to a lot of things, and like that's one of them. Like Ari Petru standing outside the shop.
Yeah.
The box stuff goes on. Will that ever happen? Vivian Frank posting a fit pic like an hour after with like the hottest Supreme items. Like, fuck me, got like 50k likes. That's it's like people have moved away, and for me, I kind of view Supreme like it's almost like Uniqlo or Gap, and I'm not saying that from like a point where it's like I can walk in and like afford to buy like everything every Thursday, but I don't really treat it like it's like anything special. I just like it. I like how they approach like making things. I'm like, I just buy that and wear it.
Yeah. Going back to your store point, one thing that I found interesting when I went in like earlier this year was that you can film in there now.
Oh, can you?
Now, if you used to go in there back in the day, they used to hate you filming. You used to get told off by the security guard. They used to put your phone away. You couldn't do shit.
Oh, you can film
couldn't
in
vlog
there.
it.
That's nuts,
But
man.
people, I mean, they probably like put it away, but it's just full of tourists, which is, it's in a prime spot now in Soho. But changed a lot. Yeah, it's changed a lot.
Fair.
They had a lot of changes in management here, didn't they?
What in
Supreme.
Yeah. They have.
It's your turn, man.
What, my question?
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking. Okay. Well, I've got a lot of quick fire ones. To be fair, I think Elsie's are maybe longer form than mine. Favorite sneaker of all time?
Probably the Supreme 03 SB Dunk Highs.
Do you have a pair of those?
No, not yet. They're on the list. It will happen.
What's your favorite colorway?
They're the kind of lighty blue ones.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Powder blue.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the actual name of that blue is, but
Is it not a
Cerulean blue or something?
no?
But yeah, it's a lighter.
Is it not-
Yeah, I know.
It's nice, man. It's nice, and I think that would kind of be a bit of a full circle moment for me, because I remember looking at them back in the day. I was like, what the fuck? Why are they $3-4
I
grand?
think they might have to be a shelf job. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not sure they'd be wearable.
Yeah, probably not. But that's fine. I don't mind that.
But with your love for pre-loved, if you got pre-loved, they'd be wearable.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Dead stock, no chance.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't care if they've been beaten to the ground, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just want them in the background and look at them, man. Yeah, they're great.
Mine, someone has a set.
Yeah?
Mm.
Well, the full.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, nice.
Who? J. Warren Jones?
He probably for sure still has them. Yeah, maybe the Bedford brothers as well. But no, these are they're actually in the resort office.
No plug.
There you go.
No plugging the golf brand. Well, yeah.
I'll see if there's a deal to be had tomorrow.
Right. Most you've paid for a pair of shoes?
Oh wow. I don't know. God, I should have pre-planned. Probably like in the early Ks, 1K.
Okay.
Not too crazy.
What was it for?
Ben and Jerry's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that special box or regular box?
So I bought a fake pair of special box by mistake. But they made it. I don't know if you remember. You probably wouldn't have seen it back in the day, but it went mental. Like, it was such a big series of mine. And that was one of the video. Go to answer the question. That was one of the sneaker videos that really pushed me away from the Tech Fleece tracksuit shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I bought it. I kind of had an inkling, whatever the word is, that it wasn't going to be 100% legit. But I was like, fuck it, a little bit below market, but not terribly low. So I bought it for this guy, PayPal GNS, so it was all good. I knew I was gonna be fine. So yeah, I got them, and then they were fake. Bought another pair. I don't have them anymore. One of my mates has got them. We share a lot of shoes. But yeah, that probably them. For there has been a lot. Some Travises, maybe Travis Lowe's.
Yeah.
Recent Travises, but nothing that exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing that exciting, to be honest.
In like similar vein to that, what's the most you've ever sold a pair of shoes for?
I don't know. Nothing crazy. I've kept quite a lot of the. I'm trying to get rid of the yellow Grateful Deads at the moment. So they've gone down. They've dropped quite a lot. So if I'm selling them for like 600, 700, 800 type thing, but they haven't been sold. So probably that will probably be them from off the top of my head.
Okay. I've got a clip one here. Probably like a pair of Travis Fragment Highs, like 2.8. I sat them for.
Nice.
I thought they were gonna go for more. Got them for retail.
Yeah.
We had one pair of Soleil Bembry 2002 R's, the orange pair.
Oh yeah, the loud ones.
I
Yeah.
had them in a UK 11.5. Got them for retail. Sold them for 1,400 quid on StockX.
Wow. That's mental, mate. That's mental.
Sold all my big ticket stuff before it really blew up.
Really?
Yeah, I think the best I did was about 1,100 each for black and platinum Yeezy 2s.
Nice.
Bargain that now.
Yeah, that's a steal.
If you want to sneak a comp,
let's move on. Let's move on because I had a full set of Yeezy 1s as well.
Wow.
And I got nothing for those. Less than 500.
Jesus.
Hold your pads down there.
This was before you kids fucking
took
turned the
over,
market upside down.
Sell a pair of dunks for that back.
I've got I haven't got many big ticket items left. Maybe Animal Air Max 1's probably the biggest ticket I got left.
I think when
certainly not dead stock, because I wear all my stuff as well. So,
yeah, that's cool.
I don't sit on anything.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think when I was, if you asked me like 3-4 years ago, when I was just coming into this space, what shoes I would have now, it would be a very different answer, because I thought I would spend 6, 7, loads of money on a pair of kicks. Right, you're talking, I don't know, PlayStation Air Force Ones, shit like that, the undefeated 4s, like stupidly expensive stuff that I would like want to be trying to buy. But like I said earlier, it's now much more. I've matured a little bit. Culture Force hasn't matured, but Jack has matured in the sense of wanting to buy more stuff that means a little bit more. Not means something, not deep into that much, but like has a bit more meaning and a bit more relevancy to me personally.
Yeah, not something just so you can say, oh,
yeah, like Travis Lowe's, I'm not really that interested in. Culture Force loves. That's great.
Yeah,
brilliant, right? Great content, and that 10% side of my personality, the crackhead element of it, really loves that side of it. But me personally, it's not as interesting as, I don't know, maybe an old Yeezy or something like that, But yeah, it's a weird way to look at it. But I think because so much of my life is Culture Force, it's actually done he's like I am a bit chaotic, but then my actual genuine interest is kind of made it very different because I see both sides of it. Yeah, if that makes sense. I don't really know what I'm saying, but if that
it makes sense.
Wraps your head around it somewhere.
What ticks your boxes, is something you can have an organic and natural affinity with. Yeah,
for sure.
Whereas Culture Force is like.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be. The Culture Force would be wearing a pair of Grateful Deads. But yeah, screaming. But Jack wouldn't be wearing a pair of Grateful Deads.
Yeah,
it's probably the best analogy to use.
But the both of you appreciate it.
Love both. Yeah, both love it. Yeah. But one really wants it.
God, that's weird. The both of you.
Yeah, it's really fucking. It's whenever I speak to people about it, they think I've got some weird like complex going on. I've got like schizophrenia or some shit. But I'm all right, I promise. But yeah.
We'll bridge over. We'll sort of expand on what you were saying about those big items like Undefeated 4s and those other hype collabs from the past. We've obviously seen Nike bringing back these pieces, and with the Patachlorophils,
Undefeated 4,
rumors of the Undefeated 4, and shoes of this like. What's your thoughts on this seeming program that Nike seem to be adopting with re-releasing these big collab items that sit on StockX and the like for huge money? What do you think first of all of the reissues, and second of all what the potential effect that is going to have on people that are sitting on these big items and the value in their collections?
Yeah, well, I guess it combines with the kind of cost of living crisis we have, the fact there is so many new pairs coming out next year, like fucking loads. Like the amount of Travis's lows they're releasing next year is meant to be ridiculous. So all these and more 4s and 3s and whatever, and then you combine that with all the reissued stuff. Like it's just gonna be so saturated. So I have a guy who is probably like 50, 60, and he is very data driven, very smart man, and he's very in the shoe game as well. And he was showing me all these graphs because I asked him a question. I was basically saying the resale market next year is going to be down with a combination of saturation and no one have any money. And then he was like, yeah, he kind of agreed, but sent me this really complicated. Started showing me all these graphs on a Zoom call, and I was just like, oh my god, like this is insane, but also very fascinating.
Yeah.
So anyway, to answer the question, I think it's good that people are gonna have the opportunity. I'm always pro people getting into it, right? I'm always pro people entering streetwear and sneakers. Like I want it to be as big as possible. I think it's really good. The more people in it, the better. From my personal opinion, but also from Culture Force side of things, I want like the funnel element. But then it's going to piss off some of the people who have given the most to the industry, some of the OG sneakerheads, some of the people who've been there for a long time.
What are you looking at?
So yeah, I think it's really it's like an angel and a devil, isn't it? Like you're going to piss loads of people off, but you're going to be a lot of people are going to be very happy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a tricky one, isn't it? Because I mean, for, people your age, Amsterdam Air Max 1s, flipping Stash 95s, all these old collaborations mean nothing to you. Obviously you're a bit more
but I understand.
you're well versed,
yeah.
but generally speaking, anyone coming in,
it's new.
It means this stuff means absolutely nothing to them. Nothing. So it's a way of giving it more legacy, because they can sit on StockX at tens of thousands of pounds, but there's
hardly any of them.
Anyone looking at that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
The people that are looking at it are only looking at it, dreaming that if I won the lottery. So it drags forward the legacy. It brings them into a new market, puts fresh eyes on it. I think it will also pull the older stuff along. I mean, none of it's going to be wearable.
No.
And no one's buying it at 40 grand a pair.
No.
That's true.
That's just a flex.
Yeah.
Like no one's paying
that's true.
that.
That's true.
It might as well be like an NFT at that point.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
They're not a real thing at that point, are they?
No, that's true.
And anyone who is buying them at 40 grand, they're definitely not putting them on their feet. So what's the point?
No.
Yeah.
So what is the point?
Yeah.
Give them the new lease of life, get them on feet, give them another 20 years legacy.
Yeah, I like that.
I think.
And I also think, obviously, with Nike's troubles, from a sales and financial point of view, I think I've said it before. It has a bit. When Hollywood takes a bit of a dive.
Yeah.
Rather than green light new films, what do? They go
reruns,
remake ones that they know they're going to get bank on, right?
10 Avengers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think there's a little air of that about this whole thing as well.
Yeah, no,
because it brings
agree.
new eyes. They know they're going to sell out. They're not going to generate hype, demand.
Yeah.
It's going to annoy a few of the old farts like me. Not me. It doesn't annoy me personally, but I certainly know. I've got friends that are collectors and sort of do dabble in the realm of these high price items, and they're a bit annoyed about it. But well, don't fork over tens of thousands of pounds for shoes, and B, get them on your feet.
That's true.
Yeah.
Don't sit there looking at them in a glass box.
Yeah, that's true.
I think part of the problem is people are upset they didn't cash in when they could have cashed in.
Yeah.
The chlorophylls are coming back. You could have sold a chlorophyll in like an 8.5, 9 out of 10 condition for probably 900 quid in the past like 18 months. The news of the reissue or the leak surfaces, you're gonna get 300-400 quid for them, because people will be able to get a new pair for 250-300 quid. That shoe's not gonna resell for any more than like 340 to 380 depending on size.
Yeah.
And it'll if it gets a wider release, if it goes to retailers, if it's like a global Nike sneakers release, it's going down even more. As well as that, I think,
but also shame on you for being greedy. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I think part of the problem is, like, I can see it from both sides. If I'd spent like 15 grand a pair of undefeated fours, I'd be a little bit annoyed, because I'm like, it's not reissue anymore. It's like a asset class.
Yes.
Of its own.
Yeah.
It's a collectible. Because no one's spending 15 grand on a pair of shoes to
You got to get
Well,
insurance on that type of
yeah.
thing. You know, it's
You
mental.
lose your life. You lose
Yeah,
your life
yeah,
for that
yeah,
these
yeah.
days.
But the new ones, you'll get. Most people will be buying them in the hope that that pair will then make it to 15,
Yeah.
20 grand.
That never happens though. And I think part of the problem is it's bringing stuff back and not giving it justice. BRS MX1, that's being brought back in an 86 big bubble. They look fucking awful. The BRS MX1, it's a beautiful shoe. Do you agree?
It's one of the best.
It's one of the best.
Yeah.
It's one of the best power walls going. The new one looks absolute dog shit. It's going straight to the outlet. Straight to the outlet, 74 quid.
Yeah.
And then you'll see them on like these reels. Or I bought these for 54 quid with discount. Sell them for 110 on eBay. That'll be the hustle. And it's just the undefeated 4. It'll sell out. Of course it will. Is it? Are people going to enjoy it or covet it as much? No, because it's kind of.
Well, it won't be the same
Yeah,
for a start.
yeah.
I mean, the undefeated 4 is a seriously limited shoe. So that's kind of in a slightly different class because originally it was very, very small numbers.
It was like friends and family.
Yeah, there was next to none
like
of them, right?
20 odd units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a slightly different one. Like if they were to bring back the Albert Heijn Patter Air Max 1, again, slightly different because there was only ever 30 odd pairs made. The Stash and the other ones we've seen is slightly different, and the BRS is a different case. Obviously, it's on a different shoe, but the Stash was a quick strike, the Hyperstrike release. There was a few more pairs of that stuff, but
it was still highly limited in comparison to units today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like most limited shoe recently is probably those Nigel Sylvester.
Yeah.
Jordan 4.
RMs, yeah.
Like,
But look how many of them are about to drop on us.
Yeah, they're just going to flood it now.
How many colourways are pending next week? Like 4 or 5? Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
It's at the DN. It's like Supreme did the club on the DN. Look cool. I was interested. Next week, following week, 24 colourways.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
They held the Silver Bullet colorway back as well, didn't they? Friends and family. So it's not, which is annoying.
Incubate things again.
Yeah, but the inline's just as good.
Yeah, that's true.
Just doesn't have Supreme on it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like the DN. I'm a fan of DN. I do like the DN. I know it's got a lot of. I hate not. Well, you can feel like it's a bit like Marmite, the DN.
Yeah.
But
I'm a big fan. Luke's quite a fan, but Rhys is not so sure.
I don't mind them.
I think the fade ones are amazing.
Yeah, they're on feet as well. They're an Air Max, so they're gonna be good. But they're very, very comfortable.
In 15, 20 years, they'll reissue that and people will be like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah.
It'll be like when they brought the Deluxe back and gave like Skepta collab and whatnot on that. It'll be like, it'll have a bit of cultural like prowess there, but
a bit of relevance. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one when you're bringing stuff back. You're always going to upset someone, and it's a case of.
But you know what? Though? No other brand can do that. No other brand has got that provenance to be able to go back
and
20 years.
They can do their accounts already. They can they can look next year and be these are the numbers we got. They can work out how many they've sold and done. You know, they're all good. Yeah. The only concerning thing from like, I don't know, like a consumer's perspective, who like a sneaker's perspective, is that they're having to do this. You know, that's a little bit worrying, right? Like surely Nike could do something instead of going back to the vault, opening this vault. You know.
Yeah, I see that comment thrown around a lot, like, "Oh, it just smacks of a lack of creativity." But Nike will drop something next week, and everyone will be like, "Oh, it's the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, this
is so innovative. It's amazing."
Yeah.
I don't buy into that. There is, make no mistake. There is zero lack of creativity at Nike. Of that, you can be sure. We posted a clip that we had with Jesse, our last guest, and we had quite a response to it yesterday when we put it on the Instagram, and that's generally the price of sneakers at the minute.
Yeah. Well, it's mental. I mean, the shoes I'm wearing now are they're probably trending for two reasons. One, they're nice and comfortable and they look good, but also because of the price. So they're the P6000s, and I buy a lot of stuff because my content is trend based, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, I need to try them out, see what they're about. But shit like that is so much. No one did Jordan paying 225 quid for a premium pair of 4s, 200 quid for a normal pair. Like, it's insane.
Yeah,
like, especially, and they're a bit shit. Like, I bought like I said earlier, I like Watford, so my favourite colour is yellow, and the white and yellow ones that released earlier this year, they're now on sale fucking everywhere, and I paid full price for them. But spent a
Yeah,
lot of money
180
them.
on a Jordan 1.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's so. Yeah, it is crazy. It's too high, and that's actually why I brought a pair of No Two Ways in, who I'm quite close with,
Yeah.
and they are very, very, very affordable, and they're very it's interesting how they do it as a smaller business and make shoes retail £80. Like, no, that's
Yeah.
how it should be, kind of thing. So yeah,
Yeah, we're fans of No Two Ways of where they're doing things. We've been trying to find the right thing to do some content or some work together. But we're certainly big fans of the way they do things.
yeah, they're nice, man. They just get it. They just get it, and they're consumers and they're designers, and they're also they just get it, which is great.
Yeah.
So they're not like big.
Also,
corporate guys.
£15 on a pair of P6000s this year, right? £15 price hike for 24.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
What's
I didn't know
what's
that.
retail
They
on
were
these?
100, weren't they? Look, I think they're 115 now.
Wow.
We did look at this earlier in the year, didn't we? Yeah, they've definitely
Wow.
definitely gone up. Yeah.
They've done that across the board though. I'm sure the
Yeah.
Vomero when it came out was 120.
Yeah,
now
same.
it's 150.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for a
a
shoe
lot.
that is how many years old?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, for me, I feel like when I was younger, when I was like a student and I had like a part-time job, I feel like I could comfortably work, like go out, go to cinema, go for a drink,
Yeah.
go clubbing, like afford to buy some like clothing, some footwear like regularly. Nowadays, you gotta be fucking doing an 80-hour week to
Yeah.
to like afford to like do almost anything.
Yeah.
And, like we obviously, Elsey's mentioned, we spoke about it on that clip with Jesse Law, but it's just like there's so much as well. There's so much, and even like a guy commented on the Real Shed, and it was like, even if you're a fan of one brand, I think he was particularly a fan of like Adidas Special. There is so much, even if it's a capsule collection like 3-4 times a year, and you want to try and get a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shoes.
Yes.
And it even the stuff that's affordable, it mounts up if you want to like get a fair bit of it.
Yeah.
It's just.
But it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if you're a collector, you want to get loads.
Got to have them all, right?
Yeah, but on the other, and if you'll be really pissed if they weren't releasing that many. But on the other hand, you're pissed they're releasing so many because they're taking so much of your money.
Yes.
And they're also so damn difficult to get.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it doesn't.
So like what? The sheer fight you have to put in to try and part with way too much of your money is crazy.
Yeah, the value you put in from the time, the money, the value exchange is just not worth. It's not, well, in some
it's
cases,
hard to reconcile.
It's hard to justify for sure. Yeah, but it's crazy.
I
man.
mean, I'm maybe buying one pair a quarter and still Klarna in it.
Yeah.
No, but you know, like you're
that's just the reality of things. Yeah.
You know what though? You're saying that, and you're laughing at that. But you know what? That's like, fuck me. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Like, how many pairs of shoes do we think release a week? Hundreds. There'll be hundreds of new colorways across, like, there'll probably thousands.
Yeah.
If we look at every brand, there's probably hundreds alone on Nike, let alone New Balance, let alone Diodora. I don't know why I've said Diodora.
Adidas,
like,
Puma, all that.
Like Salomon, Puma, New Balance.
Yeah.
Thousands of shoes, thousands of collaborations year on year, and it's like, I remember, like, I'd follow certain people on Instagram. They'd be getting shoes like non-stop. People aren't doing that no more. It's like, I feel you've just got to be like so considered these days, and also like kind of weigh up how is this a shoe I can wear every day? Is this like a beta? Is this like a regular rotation? Is this a weekend shoe? Is this something I want to wear on holiday? Like, I know people used to buy like 2-3 pairs to go on holiday. You go on holiday for that now because it's probably going to release $650.
Yeah.
You get a nice all inclusive in like Antalya and Turkey or something. For that. It's like, come on.
Yeah, it's mental. It's like the famous.
But also, as a collective, it makes the decision easy, right? Because you're like, well, yeah, they're great, but I can't afford them.
Yeah.
It's not even a consideration anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
it makes the pass so much easier.
Yeah.
Which is counterproductive for what the brands want you to do.
Yeah, the saturation.
They're just making it easier to pass.
Yeah, you know, if you've got, it's like the famous saying, if you saturate something, it eventually becomes boring, and you know, it puts people off. If there's too much option, your human brain becomes a bit lazy, and it's like,
It's like Netflix, isn't it? You on Netflix, you want to watch something, you're like, oh,
yeah, like, what the fuck do you do?
You're constantly.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, and then when you add a fucking massive price point on there, it's in a cost of living crisis, it's tough. I feel like a lot of the brands are a little bit out of touch, probably at the top. And
I get that the cost of living hits everybody, and I'm sure shoes are way more expensive to produce, and the materials are elevated, all that stuff. I get that, but yeah, it's just too much.
Yeah, it's mental. Yeah.
even down to just like positioning though, and like
Yeah.
there's probably quite a lot of shoes that can be brought back and reissued that are like a bit more affordable. What's that? Nike Field General.
Mm-hmm.
See a lot of people wearing them. That's how much are they a pair?
Yeah, 90 quid.
90 quid.
The
It's like,
GRs,
it's
yeah.
like it's a relatively like cheap shoe, and you can see that appeal. But I remember Nike used to bring back a shoe, and sometimes you'd go for 60 quid. Like Nike Grandstand, you know, the tennis
Yeah.
shoe
Mm.
with the old like athletic logo on the side.
But a dunk for 100
Yeah.
quid is,
Mon-
you know,
yeah.
a dunk should never be a 3-figure shoe ever.
Yeah.
But
Just shouldn't.
those like there's not much that offers you good value, like Stussy LD 1000. That was nice to see.
There is a couple of shoes in the SB range which are unbelievably good value. Like that SB Vertebrae is a really nice shoe, and that's like 80 quid. Yeah.
Mm.
And
that's
it's it's nice, it's suede, new butt gum, whatever. And yet your shitty plastic dunk is like 105, 110 quid.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Yeah, you probably have speaking about TikTok, you probably do have a portion of social media to thank from that though. You know, the so like I keep talking about this funnel, but the funnel is so real in the sense that it all comes from the new age, especially all comes from TikTok. A little bit of Instagram, but mostly TikTok. Yeah. And it's just changed the scene. Like you probably can't even recognize it. You know, it's so different.
But it goes to what you said on that clip about, you know, Adidas's product line generally, like their core product line is like originals and very basic models that were sort of pre 1980, and they've managed to keep the price point somewhat sensible. Like was it 100 quid gazelles and handballs, specials and stuff, and sambas, and there's no wonder they're scooping. You know, they're selling these by the bucket loads. Nike's core shoes, their franchise shoes, are a bit later, and they're like more like late 80s, early 90s, and therefore can't really compete in that domain. So it's no wonder that the market share is shifting.
Yeah.
When
an Air Max 1 is what?
What, like 145?
Yeah, 145, 150, and the sort of comparable shoe for Adidas, for like a Superstar or a Samba or a Gazelle, is 100 or less.
I think you see it more with like what women are wearing. I think like the Adidas SL72 really popular shoe. Don't think that would be half as popular if it was 130 or 140 a pair. It's like that accessibility like allows people to have more choice, and I think some people are just looking for more shoes to wear. So if you could have one pair of like premium Jordan 4s for like 220, 240, or you could have 2 or 3 shoes which are like a Gel Cayano, pair Adidas Specials, or like a Superstar, like you'd have a bit more of a rotation for less, like a lot like when you were building that budget sneaker collection.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, do you want your money to go further? Do you want to have like a shoe that you're gonna kind of have to baby because of how much you've spent on it?
Yeah. It's like priorities, isn't it? It depends where you see the value in a particular shoe. Do you want the original hype? Are you that kind of guy, or do you want the cheaper shoe that's obviously in this day and age can be more trendy because everyone can afford that? Therefore, it is more of a trendy shoe. Yeah. So it's a difficult one, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. But next year's massive for price points and stuff like that. It'd be massive. Yeah.
Good. Any plans to get your dad in some Larry outfits again?
So dad's got a decent job now. He's always had a good job, but now he's like, he does. TikTok's a bit too. It gets too many views now for him. Like I said, I'm not massive, but they're having like 300-400k views isn't really like what he wants, what he needs. A 60-year-old man needs right now. I've told him if he retires, I can make, because that's what I live and breathe, right? Content. I know how to get views. I know what I like. I just love it. And I've told him I would be much bigger if he was around. Yeah. So I said when he ever retires, and I'm still doing this TikTok stuff or whatever, he will make a comeback at some point. But yeah, now he's. It's nice for me though, because I'm not relying on him so much. Moment. He's on ice, yeah, and also if I asked him, it'd be fuming. So yeah. But,
what's his wardrobe look like?
He used to do a lot of hiking and stuff. Scouts. He's been everywhere. So he loves the North Face. Lots of North Face shoes, which is interesting. Lots of walking shoes. Loves a bit of Berghaus. not quite on the cool kids walking stuff. Not on.
There's
Arky.
a niche for him there, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. But he's not quite an Arc'teryx man. He kind of puts his nose up at that because it's like you're like a poser.
A bit more regatta, crag hoppers.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So when I was doing like this is again years ago, but when the Arc'teryx trend of like people pouring water beading and shit all over their heads, I was doing it in my nan's shower, and he was like, "You're disgraceful. Shouldn't be doing that." So.
And what does he think now? No, you're so.
Oh yeah, he's like fair enough. We saw the dynamic is shifting a little bit. I no longer. I bought the he buys like the football tickets. I buy the travel tickets when we ever go to away games and stuff. And that's kind of like our suggestion that the power has evened out a little bit, like spending power, and I've matured. That's how we value it. So our entire life, our entire relationships between Watford Football Club, and that's it. That's all we do, really. So, and then the occasional conversation about him and my work, and that's it. He's a good lad. He's a good guy. He's very supportive.
Good. Yeah. What are your hopes for Watford this season?
I'm probably just staying up, to be brutally honest. We started well, though. We won at last minute at Millwall on Saturday, which was good.
I forgot. Our head honcho is a Millwall season ticket.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was great, mate. We had my brother ended up about 3 rows behind. And because we were 2-0 up and then 2-0 and then we scored, so that was good. And then we won 5-0 last night in the cup.
Nice, wow.
But we're still it's Watford, so we take a lot's going on behind the scenes.
Good,
but
good away day, Watford.
Yeah, banging. Yeah, really nice, mate. It always gets a lot of. You can't get booze in there though. There's no booze in the ground in the away end, which away fans always complain about. But the actual surrounding pubs and the stadium itself is a bit like the stadium's banging. Like it's good. Like that's why I love.
It's a classic old stadium.
Yeah, and that's why I like the Den. Like on Saturday, I was telling my brother, he was like complaining about it, and he's only recently been into football.
Yeah.
And I was like, Finn, like you go to like Southampton, all these new like St Mary's, Reading, all these like new
modern
stadiums. It's like it's Finn. It looks nice when you're underneath, but I promise you, it's just not the same. You just learn it a little bit. It ain't the same. But yeah, so and I love that about Watford. I love that it's not.
Favourite players down the years?
Etienne Capoue, very, very good. Very, very good. Delafeu is probably the best player I've had in years. Since like my dad's years of the 80s, like Luther Blissett and John Barnes, Delafeu is probably the best. And then Deeney as well. Gets a lot of shit, rightfully so. He says a lot of weird shit. But he's a good... He did a lot for us, you know.
Mount Rushmore time.
Well, before Mount Rushmore, I want to touch on something just quickly. Indulge myself. I know you recently hit the golf course a bit.
Yes.
I'm obviously a big golfer. These two will tune out. But if you would ever care to look into it a bit deeper, you might see the relevance. Is that your release? Is that your...
Yeah, so I used to play in a golf academy when I was younger. It was nothing crazy, but you had to be at a decent level. You used to pay to be there.
Yeah.
And I was playing off kind of about 16. Playing off 16 when I was about 13.
Yeah.
You guys probably just waffle now, but and then I stopped when I was about 13, 14. Like when I was playing pretty well, and I stopped to play football and cricket because it was just golf was not cool then.
Yeah.
Changed a lot now.
Yeah, and that's more to a point. Like not to drag it on for these boys, but I've played golf. My whole life, and it's never been a cool pursuit until just recently.
Yeah.
And it's really been interesting for me to see it sort of break that glass ceiling and sort of have its moment in the
spotlight. Yeah, no, 100%, man. It's good. It's good. There's a lot more of a younger audience coming through now. But I used to because I literally played when I was 5 to about 13, and then I stopped because of I just was doing other sport and like growing up in that. And it's also expensive, like especially when you're growing, because you go from junior clubs, then you have ladies clubs because they're in between junior and men's, and then you want a custom fit and whatever. It's a lot of money. So I think my parents were kind of happy I stopped for a little bit, but and then I started again quite recently when I've got a bit better. So I have to pay for a buggy a lot of the time when I want to play an 18.
Yeah.
But I played at a nice course on Monday, Berkhamsted, which was good. Yeah, doing all right.
How would you say golf keeps this momentum? It's all this it's cool period it's having, and
I think you need to keep the new generation happy, right? Yeah. So you need to keep the people coming through happy. You need to keep them coming through basically, and then you'll be winning. So there's a lot. I mean, Kith and TaylorMade dropped a collaboration recently.
Yeah.
Bape and Adidas last year on a golf collection. Stuff like that in terms of like the streetwear and sneaker world, I guess. You know, Travis and Jordan in October or whenever it was last year. Stuff like that to keep people knowing that golf's kind of relevant. But then on the actual golf side of things, like the actual marketing side of that, like, you know, you need to look at, there's like Minwoo Lee, really popular, pretty good golfer, obviously, very big on TikTok. You know, that's mental. You know, there's guys like they're doing like trick shots and trick shot flop shots on social media. So people are like, wow, what the fuck? And then that's sick, and that's how people go and try and play. And then there's also you know, green fees are a little bit up and down depending where you go. So you can there are shit courses which are cheap, which are good. You know, there's one near me which is like a tenner, which is nice. So yeah, I think they just need to get rid of some of the restrictions, some of the apparel. Dress code needs to really take a step back.
Painful conversation.
Yeah, and I deliberately wear, when I go now, I deliberately wear what I shouldn't really.
Yeah,
just
I think, but there's something for that. We've got to push that boundary.
Yeah, 100%, man.
It's not going to come from the top.
No, it won't.
We're never going to get a directive from the people who run the game that, you know, even just playing in a t-shirt is okay.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous.
It's mental. I mean, I had to hide when it was really hot the other day. I was wearing just like a random t-shirt. I was like sent from someone, and not a golf shirt, and I had to hide it with an Under Armour crew neck and wear it and boiling. Like,
so everyone's embracing it. They're doing collabs with with you know, product, and there's a lot of independent brands doing really cool stuff. So
yeah, it's great, man. And a lot of influence. There's actual golf influencers now, which are important. They have a massive role to play. So they need to do their. Yeah. It's huge, man. It's really a big moment in time for golf. It's a great sport as well. Like, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, we'll get him on the.
Oh, it's great, mate. You'll love it, man. Honestly, it's so good. There's nothing like it. Doesn't make any sense just saying it, but when you get out there, it's like
yeah. And what you've just said is it. Like football, to all these other traditional sports, everybody knows what they're like. They're on the TV all the time. They're shoved down. Everybody knows what they're like. But to tell someone how great golf is very difficult to do with words.
Yeah.
The telling is in the doing, and that's that's golf's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
No. Thanks for indulging me in that chat anyway. I like to get a bit of golf chatting.
No bother.
We'll have to tee it up.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm still I'm in between clubs at the moment, trying to build a new bag.
Yeah.
Which is all pre-owned, obviously.
Yeah.
I love a bit of Facebook Marketplace.
Great market for pre-owned stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. There's so much.
Yeah.
And also people don't know the real value of.
You should reach out to Golf Bidder and see if they want to do a.
Yeah, I could. I mean, I really want to get it into. It's something I really quite believe in.
They're good with social media, and they do stuff with influencers in the space. I'm sure they'd be interested.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I would like to filter in golf content, but at the same time, I'm kind of be careful.
Is that the future for Culture Force? Bit of golf content.
I don't know. I think Culture Force needs to. The actual Culture Force will have to mature at some point.
Culture Force.
Yeah, that would be good. We have a conversation of a golf channel at the moment, which is in the works, hopefully, but we're not sure yet.
Nice.
We're not sure.
Heard it here first, eh?
Yeah, we'll see.
Exclusive.
Right, we're going to finish up with we like to ask, I guess, what is your Mount Rushmore of sneakers? So we'll give you 5.
Wow.
All timers.
Okay, right. So, is that how many heads are on the Mount Rushmore? 5.
I think there's 4.
I think it's 4.
But we allow 5. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So there's probably a combination of like personal ones that I wouldn't. It's weird because, like I said, I value a lot of the shoes in my collection based on time and what I wasn't able to afford. So and what they've done for me, because obviously I wouldn't. Like I said off camera, like what this has done for me is a lot more than probably what it's done for a lot of people. So me documenting certain shoes that aren't really in most people's Mount Rushmores.
But it doesn't matter.
It's quite nice.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's all about. If we all like the same thing, it'd be
exactly,
boring.
man. Exactly. Yeah. All right, so I think I'm gonna start at the top. So probably the Supreme SB 03s.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Second, we will go with 350 Zebra because I remember looking at it when I was like 17, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Why is it so much money? And then I went in. Just some fun stories behind it. Really interesting. And now I quite like it. What else? The Ben and Jerry's, because they did loads really well for me. interesting collaboration. Love
Yeah.
the special box.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's
really,
a really,
fun.
really good shoe.
Yeah. Yeah. My Mount Rushmore's quite like more accessible than like the craziest shit. So what's that? 3 or 2?
That's 3.
That's 3. So then 4, probably the Pirate Blacks. They were cool. And then
I'm tearing
5.
this Mount Rushmore down. two Adidas Yeezys.
Yeah, I know. I watched. I can't remember what episode I watched, but I just saw you weren't a fan of the post Nike era. And then 5 we have.
Oh, that would be my chat with Prozac.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I love that man
Yeah.
so much. He's great.
He's good.
And then 5, probably the reissue or the low variation because they make that goes hand in hand with what I like. So.
Yeah. Fair.
So a weird one, but ones that all have genuine, real meaning as opposed to the. That's how I like to look at it anyway.
No, I like that. That's a good Mount Rushmore.
It's real.
It's real.
honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
honest.
precisely.
You're not putting some West unobtainable shit on there.
Yeah, man, and it's all nostalgia type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to my era. You
Yeah.
know, it's not going to please an OG sneakerhead, but to my journey, it's real to me for sure.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
Nice.
Yeah. Jack, thanks very much.
No, all good, man. It's been
Yeah.
a pleasure. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
that was a
Thank
great
you
chat.
for coming on.
Thank you for coming on.
No, all good, man.
That's been the Drop Date. That's been Culture Force.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace out.
Peace.